As we quietly look into the environment, I have set up this new special hidden camera. This is known as the Scalper Scanner 5000. When you add the number 5000 to anything, it makes it more intense. So as we scan through looking for scalpers, we try to understand. Wait. I heard something. We try to understand where the scalpers come from. So the Scalper Scanner 5000 will continue to look for scalpers in their natural environment. Quiet. Wait. Let me know if you guys see any scalpers from the Scalper Scanner 5000. Now, I detected some motion on the cameras. I think there is a potential scalper in the area, everybody. I encourage everybody to stay calm. We'll scan one more time. All right, enough memes. Enough of the intros. Enough of the intros. Look, this is a serious YouTube channel. I didn't ask you to like and subscribe. I don't ask you to thumbs up or thumbs down or do a twirly bird. You were never supposed to like this channel in the first place. This is the Scalper Scanner 5000. My name is Rudy. You're watching The Cardboard Life. I think I'm about 35% cardboard is in my DNA at this point in time. It's warm today in Florida. I had to use some air conditioning. Couldn't ride my alligator to the local Walmart to buy some Doritos and cheese puffs. Chick-fil-A installed a new drive-through lane. You can ride alligators and crocodiles and get your waffle fries. So a lot of you all, including some long-term people on this channel, have been asking me and want some Rudy phrases, and they want some Rudy feedback. And a lot of you guys are asking, no, not how much hair is going to be left and what year will Rudy be bald? I'm voting 2031. But anyways, a lot of you all are asking me for some tips and feedback on navigating the Pokemon situation. And I've discussed this with you all many, many times over the years. We don't have an important dramatic video today. I've just been working and just trying to do inventory here of all these random ancillary products that are an absolute pain in the ass to deal with because they come in waves. I'll randomly get one shipment from the West Coast that was ordered 3 weeks ago, and then I'll get a random shipment of, oh look, 1 case of tins. Oh geez, maybe I can break them down and give each patron a tenth of a tin. Oh look, we got cases of blisters now. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to go through this and work something out here, but the best piece of advice I want to give a lot of you guys today, this is going to be a philosophical talk today. I'm not going to pitch you guys about how I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I'm not going to tell you guys about joining Rudy's Patreon because you don't like money, and welcome to Costco still loves you. I'm not going to pitch you all about Rudy the Scalper. I'm not going to pitch any of that stuff today. I'm literally just going to tell you that the best piece of advice that I can give you all is everybody changes in each part of the cycle. Whoever we're in is going to dictate how people are going to feel about you. Now, when you do something so long, there will become a day that many of you all, or many business owners or flippers or, whatever, investors, collectors, whatever you are, there's going to be many moments in time where you've done this so long, it just, there's like this meme going around. Last night I had a bunch of patron messages, and they were saying, hey, Rudy, there's other people, Poke tubers, making videos about you. I said, well, that's cool. And then, other people are like, well, Rudy, do you want to watch it? I was like, honestly, I guess, sure. And I watched some of them, I thought, honestly, they're all fine. But what's interesting is there's a lot of chatter in the Pokemon world regarding how come Rudy seems to be not so impacted. Why is he immune from all the attacks and review bombs and everything? So I guess that's the conversation that about 3 or 4 different videos have been made about me in the last week. And honestly, I don't really know what to say to that. I just think it doesn't really matter. I think many people get a little too fixated and obsessed with the world of social media. I think many of us are getting a little too... If you live the YouTube world too long, it's almost like the Matrix. If you get too deep into the world of social media, YouTube, you kind of forget what the real world is. And then when you go back to the real world, you kind of... Was social media a simulation? Was that even real? You'll notice there's a very, very big disconnect. We talked about in the other video, the cool kids and what's allowed, and, like I said, what's you're able to discuss at stores, and the game piece army, people who, feel that all this stuff should be worthless kind of thing, so that they're affordable because, Pokemon is designed for small children. I love that narrative. Hey, Bill in the back. Yes, Lumberg. Is Pokemon for small children? Absolutely. So we're going to make this billion-dollar brand and do billions and hundreds of millions in sales. Wait, who buys it? Mostly adults between 18 and 38. But I thought we were going for small children. Don't say anything. That's the narrative. That's the narrative. So it's something where I think many people lose sight of what really goes on every day. And it's very easy to get distorted when you watch too much YouTube content and you're on social media too much. If you're on the Discords, the Reddits, the MySpace, the Grinders, the Ashley Madisons, the Backpage, the Silk Road, when you're on these websites too long, you kind of start to think the whole world is kind of in line with what you're reading about, but it's not. And it's a tricky thing, because you develop these perspectives in Pokemon based on things that don't really represent the majority of the situation. If everybody online truly felt Pokemon was a ripoff and controlled by evil investor little baby Rudies, Lil Rudy, L-I-L Rudy, well, the Pokemon wouldn't be selling. And if it doesn't sell, the price tanks. If the price tanks, the market recalibrates. But that in the real world, that's not really what's happening. In the real world, the Rudy patron army, the hundreds of, or if not thousands of YouTubers out there making videos and selling products and doing rip and ships, everyone's doing very well. You can say that Pokemon's dying, it's already peaked, and oh look, the latest set, Journey Together, went from 260, 270 at the peak, and now it's down to like 215. I mean, you can spin anything and zoom into it, but overall, it doesn't really represent what's going on with Pokemon. Pokemon remains the blue chip of the sealed product world. I've been doing this for so long, I don't even know how many years. And I'm telling you, nothing's changed. I mean, I'll be honest with you all, if I had taken my 8 figures positions in vintage Magic and taken the same 8 figures and put it into vintage Pokemon and Pokemon sealed product the last 15, 20 years, I'll be honest with you all, I would probably have I would say my net worth would probably be 500 million to $1 billion. I could probably push towards being a billionaire. And if that was the case, I could actually go after and try to actually do more of a hostile takeover of Hasbro if I could get to billionaire status. And yeah, people ask me all the time, Rudy, if you ever became the billionaire status or the business, would you be serious? I said 100%. My bucket list in this world for additional money or extra millions of dollars is to literally do a hostile takeover and go after Hasbro. And that's actually not a meme. A lot of people actually know that who've talked to me in real life, and that is the goal. I kind of, every time we get these market shakeups, if Hasbro stock could actually drop to $10, $20, I could accumulate hundreds of thousands of shares. I would actually try to get at least, if we could get Hasbro stock down to $10, $20, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. The company's too profitable and Magic's doing too well, but yeah, I would actually try to get a couple percent ownership of the company. Anyways, but I don't think people grasp that this internet slang and anger that you all see in this counterpoint point of people who want cheap cards and game piece army versus these LGSs and everybody going after each other. I'll give you guys a pro tip here. like for example, if I'm face to face with someone and someone says, well, Rudy, why do you sell, I don't know, Pokemon too expensive? Do you feel like you're like the head scalper of the underground scalping industry? It was, I think it was 7 years I went, and the word scalping was never used in Pokemon. And then in 2021, the COVID thing, at the end of 2020 to beginning of 2021, there was about a 6-month window where the term scalping came back to Pokemon. And then we went from 2022 and 2023, where not a single person ever used the terminology MSRP or scalping. And then now that we've swung again, suddenly those type of people come out of the woodwork. And, I think the best piece of advice I can give to everybody out there, coming from somebody who's probably at the top of the food pyramid, where all I do is just stare at myself as my hair falls out. Best piece of advice I can give everybody is always remember, you cannot please everybody. Your goal is not to please everybody. You should not make videos trying to please everybody. You should not bend over backwards to please every customer, every patron, every person. You should do what's right, do the best you can. And that doesn't mean that if someone they walk into your local game store and they say, hey, that Pokemon box is $250. Why are you selling it for $230, Rudy? Why not give me a bigger discount to market? That kind of stuff is, just remember, folks, those type of people, when the market changes, you will lose them as a customer, no matter what you do today. It is in the best interest of all of you LGS owners around the United States to understand that those type of customers are not long-term customers anyways. Lowering your price or negotiating or going to battle with those type of individuals, with all due respect, you should tell them to fuck off. But many small businesses and startups can't really do that kind of thing, okay? Because, unless you hit certain categories in life, you need to have the business and revenue. Now, when you hit certain levels in life where you get more assets and wealth and the whole fuck you money kind of thing, you can be more honest and blunt about things, which ironically many times leads to actually being more successful. Now, it makes people angry because it comes off rude, and saying stuff like this makes you the bad guy. But in reality, just be respectful to people and just be nice to people and talk to people. Most problems in life can be solved that way. But remember, everybody, I remember I had this one patron who's an LGS owner. He messaged me a few days ago, and he said, Rudy, we have this one family that comes in the last few months, and every time there's a release or a blister pack or an ETB or something restocked or done from Pokemon, this family would come in, and they would give my employees a hard time no matter what the price is. If they held up their phone showing that the item was $200 on a TCG player, and my price was $189, this store owner told me that, the customer would say, why are you charging that much when MSRP is $99? And they would give the employee a hard time, ask to speak to a manager, do all this shit. And I encourage you all to understand a few things. That type of person, I've had my share of run-ins in the past, so don't think that Rudy is fully immune to it. I just don't give a fuck. Because I've done this so long, I can tell very quickly what kind of individual I'm talking to. And understanding that, I understand who has the value, and I understand the good customers, the good patrons, the good walk-in. You learn very quickly on the people that you should bend over backwards for, that you should take care of. And you learn very quickly on the fly-by-night, the flippers, the people who are just here because, Rudy, Team Rocket set coming out. That thing's going to be $350. You are going to sell yours for $149 or $159, right? If not, why would you treat people like that? And of course, those conversations, depending on my mood, and depending if I just had my waffle fries, or depending on your wife's boyfriend, if she's still cleaning my house, or it depends if your stepsister's doing laundry for me that day, will dictate my response. If I'm in a silly Rudy mood, I'll do silly things. I'll respond to people. I like to play with people. I like to really poke the bear sometimes. I like to take Rudy's hard stick and kind of poke him in the face, or just lay the stick across their face. I like to do things that are inappropriate, and I tell all store owners, and this goes for you all out there, when you deal with customers like that, try to back away. Try to weed out the people like that. Long term, it will work out better for you. And you remember, you can be rude. You can say Rudy type of jokes and memes or well, Rudy, why aren't you selling at MSRP? I'm sorry, what? Penelope, Buttercup, Skittles. What does MSRP stand for? Anybody? Manufactured what? Oh, manufacturer suggested retail price. That's what MSRP stands for. Well, Rudy's opinion is I suggest that you buy it from someone else because I know you're not going to be around anyways. And if that employee bends over backwards and makes a change or does something, you know, they're only doing, and trust me, the best part is, let me ask you this. I used to do this back in 2023 when people would, I got a good story for you guys. Back in 2023 when some of the Sword and Shield stuff started getting more expensive, like Evolving Skies. I had this longer term customer / patron. And this person goes, well, Rudy, are you still gonna sell me Evolving Skies and MSRP? And it was so funny at the time. You guys will love this. And I said, well, what does MSRP stand for? And they told me. I said, well, I suggest you do the following then, after you tell me. And I said, I tell you what, as long as you continue to buy, this is funny because this was SVO1 base had come out, Scarlet Violet base had come out. And you couldn't sell it for anything. Nobody wanted SVO1 or anything. It was like 99. I got cussed out for selling it for 95, 99. And I replied to this person from 2 years ago, and I said, I tell you what, I will only sell you Scarlet Violet product at MSRP if you want to honor the Evolving Skies at MSRP. Because at the time, Evolving Skies had hit like $200, and I had given someone a price quote for like $189 times 6 boxes, and they got mad at me and said, why would you do that to me? And I said, well, are you willing to buy Scarlet Violet base for MSRP? And they said, no, why would I do that? The boxes are $89. Why would you overcharge me at $160? And then I don't think I ever replied at that point because I realized, I think I poked the bear enough. But it was one of those things where, you know, a lot of people at different levels, they don't understand. They haven't been in business long enough to know. And longer term business owners and LGS owners, they understand the different type of customers that are out there. And right now, Pokemon is definitely going through a lot of this. And I recommend, and I get a lot of messages from you guys that are sellers, flippers. You know, some of you guys just run to the stores and do the scalping, I guess is what it's called, where you run to Target or Costco, you buy as much as you can, you message me, you flip it online, you make money, and, you know, and people say, well, Rudy supports that. I don't give a shit what you do. If you want to run to Target at 7 in the morning and dump all the items in the shopping cart, and then people want to record you, you do you, man. It ain't for me, but that's all you. And it's just kind of interesting because my advice to you all, once again, is to really step back and just remember where we are in the market. And once you understand where we are in the market, you go to level 2, which means understand, based on where we are in the market, what is most likely to occur over the next 6, 12, 24 months based on the current position in the market cycle. And that is, I can tell you right now, Pokemon is not going to get hotter from where it is right now. It's already there. So now, if this was Wall Street and we were an options trader and we were dealing in derivatives of contracts and different things, and I had to sit down with you as an analyst and you had to talk to me about, Rudy, I need help managing risk, I would sit you down, princess, and I would talk to you like a buttercup. And I would say, okay, well, Pokemon is at the top of the market. Therefore, we know if we're dealing in betting or gambling, that we know Pokemon really isn't going to go much higher on hype. The hype is already there. So the only potential outcomes moving forward are the hype stays constant, the hype drifts lower, or the hype tanks off. Now, I believe we stay constant. I believe that the strength of Pokemon continues flat as we go forward and the market remains very strong. I don't think it goes insaner than where it already is. But based on that just fundamental basic principle, we can understand that, okay, I know what kind of customers and people we can expect who are going to handle Pokemon. You know, that is the most common thing that people are asking about. Rudy, how much can I buy? You know, I know you don't give much of a discount. And Rudy, is it true that you do this and you do that? Whatever the rumor is, just assume it's true. Who gives a shit? But remember, the average life cycle of a person into the Pokemon market right now is 3 to 9 months. Okay? From a guy on YouTube for 10 years, and with the longest running Patreon since Patreon was started 10, 15 years ago, I can tell you all for a fact The average lifespan of a Pokemon buyer, flipper, and investor is between 5 and 7 months. Okay? Which means the things we talk about today, I could literally be a total asshole in this video. I could say all kinds of mean shit. I could be this and that. And I can tell you, this time next year, I would say 50 to 75% of the viewers watching this will be flushed out and reset with new people who have no idea that this video even exists. And based on that alone, the new wave of people who come in a year or two from now are going to have very different attitudes because the market's going to be in a different place. When the market's in a different place, that creates a different type of conversations. Because I assure you, in 2023, when I was sat on heavy bags, and guess what? A lot of this shit, especially on that side. Hold on a second. You know, when I had to sit on, when I bought 5,000 of these things, why? Because distribution and distributors couldn't sell them. They had to be marked down, people didn't want them, and Rudy the liquidator had to come in and do negotiations and try to understand, should I deploy the money? Should I take the risk to sit on Pokemon product that could take years to go up in price or do something? And that is the kind of conversations, and those are the kind of things that go on that people don't discuss on social media and when they're making attack hate videos. Because I don't know what the deal is in the Pokemon YouTube sphere right now, but everybody, like, I get these random, I know there's all kinds of stuff because you guys are messaging me, what do I think about it? And honestly, I think 99% of Pokemon YouTubers are just cool ass people. That's really my honest, if you really, I don't see a problem with it. Some people like to crack packs, some do rip and ship, some talk about the Pokemon finance market. Personally, all of them have different personalities. Some of them are kind of little Rudies, some of them are just investors and trying to make it big in the world and they're working hard. What the fuck's the problem with that? Folks, I'm not going to be around for fucking 400 years. Okay? I mean, this is a market and industry that started before me and is going to be around long after I'm gone in 5, 10, 20 years on YouTube. Okay? That is the reality of it. And again, my perspective, I like success stories. I like stories that people, guess what? They bought something, they invested in Pokemon, they made money, and suddenly, years later, they send me a picture and there's a family standing in front of a brand new house that they paid for by investing in Magic or Pokemon. I think that's a fucking beautiful thing. I love positive stories and success because our society does not care about people doing well. We only care about drama, failure, and scams. And it's just my biggest pet peeve because there were so many good people, so many awesome stories, and Pokemon is doing so well with so many awesome sets and beautiful cards, and I don't think it gets enough love. It's being overshadowed because of the way the social media machine pumps out the drama stuff. Remember, the drama videos and the YouTube stuff does not represent 99, I'm not saying half, I'm not saying a third, 99% of Pokemon buyers are not in the world of scalping, MSRP, drama, YouTube, boycotting, review bombing this poor little LGS somewhere. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. The real world, outside the matrix of social media, most LGSs do just fine. That's kind of the honest reality of it. And I think we all need to really kind of calm the fuck down and be nicer to each other. If you don't like the prices, don't buy from a store. If you don't like a seller on TCG Player because they're pre-ordering Team Rocket's Destined Rivals to your left nut for $350 plus tax or $380 or whatever it is today, I don't know. Then don't pay it. You don't screenshot, you don't, dox and review bomb and find where the store is located and go after these poor employees and go into an LGS filming and yelling at a cashier. Like, the fuck is wrong with people, man? Be respectful. Be nice to people. You would be blown away just being nice and communicating versus just trying to go after things with aggressive nature. I'm telling you all, from someone who's been in business a really long time, the relationships I have with distribution going on 10 to 20 years now, or I guess maybe 15 years I've been with this, I don't know, forever. The best piece of advice I can give LGSs, young Rudies out there, the best thing is, even in the short run, just do the best you can. And just don't scam people. And don't steal. That's it. And communicate. And know, and hang on. For those of you who are stupid and game piece and just live a life of pounding keyboards and eating the letters off your keyboard and literally just putting Taco Bell sauce in the enter key, let me explain to you all. If you don't like the price of Blooming Waters or something, that doesn't mean they're scamming you. It just means the store probably doesn't have much. They probably can't get more. Or probably distribution doubled the price anyways, like they've been doing. And the price is higher. That doesn't mean that that store in your local neighborhood is scamming you. People need to just be nicer. And everything is so overshadowed because Pokemon's expensive and it's not changing anytime soon. And honestly, keep in mind, just like this last cycle, eventually Pokemon's going to cool off. Sales are going to go down. Print runs will adjust lower. And guess what's going to happen then? Pokemon's going to have a meeting and say, well, shit, we're not making as much money as we did in 2024 and 2025. All right, fuck it. We need to do something. What do we do? Raise MSRP 10%. Then the Pokemon company's going to raise prices anyways. They did it from the Sword and Shield, the XY. It happens every time. Even when the market cools off, Pokemon's going to do a price increase. And they should. And they should. Because that's how business cycles work. But I don't know and understand fully why people have to be so angry with everybody right now. And I get messages on a weekly, not daily, I'd say weekly basis, sometimes monthly, of random employees and store owners around the United States. And they literally say, will you please make a video on this topic? I get messages from people on social media. I get fucking messages from people who are moderators of like Facebook groups and private this and that, all kinds of stupid shit that I think is a waste of your life. And they say, Rudy, I need you to, will you shed some light and blast this store for doing this? Well, who is it? This random store in the middle of, I don't know, Utah or Idaho or New Mexico. And they did pre-orders and they canceled the pre-orders and raised the price. Do you know how common that bad business? Yeah, it's bad business. You want my advice? Don't do that. You want my next piece of advice? If a store does that, don't buy from them. That's it. You don't go after people. It's not a witch hunt. Things happen. Sometimes when stores do those dumbass things, it's because of an employee who listed the wrong thing, did the wrong thing, or they have some automated stupid beep boop boop system, and they list too much shit on multiple websites, and they're just dumb. And poor management leads to, well, bad business. And then they relist at a higher price. Other times, distributors cut their order. Other times, yeah, they never intended on filling your product and they wanted a free loan. All these things are real things in life. But again, folks, when you run into this stuff, it's the same thing. And no, I'm not going to sell you a damn get-rich program, how to start a Pokemon business. I don't give a shit. Figure it out. You want, again, when you start selling stuff on eBay or TCG Player, guess what? You're going to run into people that are going to steal from you. Guess what? If you make YouTube videos, you're going to get death threats. Guess what? If you have a Patreon account, there's going to be people who are going to try to game the system. Open and close their account 30 times whenever they need something. Guess what? You're going to have people, you're going to ship them shit. I had a good one here. Last month, I had a case, $1,000 case of ETBs. Guess what? Some random patron, never bought before, bought a case of ETBs, going through 3 months of dispute process because they're claiming that I don't ship Pokemon products and I ship out empty containers and bricks and all this dumb fucking shit. And guess what? You know, they're banned. Sure. They get away with one thing one time, and then their PayPal account is logged with potential suspicious stuff. And all what? To make a couple $100 to risk being banned for life on like PayPal and platforms for fraud? Like, don't do that stuff to people. Just don't do it to your local store. Even if you hate Walmart and Costco, don't do it to the companies. Walmart, oh, they're $1 billion company, Rudy. They deserve it. Fuck them. No. That doesn't give the right to just do the wrong thing. Well, Rudy, they scam people. They overcharge people. Have you been to Home Depot and Lowe's and all these hardware stores? You should steal from them. They overcharge. Because you don't like the price, that doesn't mean they're scamming you. Just don't shop there or don't buy it. It's a perspective problem, everybody. Holy shit, this video turned out to be way longer than I ranted to be. Closing argument to everybody is, look, there's nothing that every human has goods and bads, and nobody's perfect. I'm a meat popsicle. I stumbled through my life in the world of cardboard when everybody made fun of me for my entire life. Fuck it. It happens. It worked out for me. Congratulations. You know what? For many of you out there, the cardboard life will probably work out for you. But it's a long, slow process. And taking shortcuts historically doesn't work. Remember that even if the shortcut nets you a quick win, even if you're able to get away with it, even if you could steal from your local, I don't know, Walmart, you'll probably get away with it. What was that statistic? You rob a bank? What was that thing? I watched a documentary one time that if you rob a bank and plan it out for 6 months, you have a 97% chance of getting away with it if you plan a bank robbery for 6 months straight and you only do it one time. Now here's the kicker to that silly little Rudy fact. Well, fuck, 6 months of planning to rob a bank, even if you get 5-10 grand out of a local branch for 6 months worth of planning and the risk you're taking, is that even minimum wage? Like, there's these things, and then of course if you get away with it, then it empowers you to continue on a path of making more choices like that and taking shortcuts, and then every time after the first, it's like an addict. It's never as good, and the risk gets higher, and the dopamine hit gets lower. All this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is the same principles and concepts. In the world of trading cards, I manage it based on a whole different concept. My perspective on this stuff and my management after doing this so long is unlike anyone else you're going to meet out there. And I'm just trying to give you guys words of wisdom. I don't have a program to help you start a business. I don't have a step-by-step guide to do it. And honestly, 99% of you watching this probably should never try to turn this industry into a business, because for most people, it's not fair. It takes a long time to build it, and it's not worth it. But for some of you out there, you will hit it big, and you will figure things out. It may not be in cards, it may be in some other industry. And the Rudy advice still stands. So as we end this video, best piece of advice, careful on the shortcuts. There is no get rich quick. And most of your problems can be solved in this world by communicating, being respectful. And I think it's important for everyone to remember that all this drama in the YouTube world, between all these PokeTubers and everything going on, it's not real. It's not real. And if there's God knows how many millions of people in Pokemon, probably less than 1% of the people worldwide into Pokemon even watch YouTube Pokemon or even know about what's going on YouTube, social media, the scalpers, the flippers. It's just not that big of a deal. But we're getting fed online as if it's a big thing happening. But it's really not. It's really not a big deal. And I think people just need to be nicer to each other. And people need to go in businesses to all these LGSs around the country. And people need to have a better head on their shoulders. And just talk to them. And talk to these employees. They're just doing their jobs. Most LGSs are just a mom and pop, a boyfriend, girlfriend, a husband, wife, or a family-ran business, and that's it. And maybe that LGS is a bunch of product that's not selling worth a shit, and they get one Pokemon thing they can actually make a profit on, and you walk in the door, and then you're just blowing the fuck up on an employee and trying to bash them on the internet. And this store has got one little product they can make a profit on, when the other 20 things they've been stuck with not making any money. And you go in there guns blazing, all angry at everybody. So who's really scamming who? Who's really doing the right and the wrong thing? So I hope this helps somebody out there. Other than that, thank you all for watching. As always, thank you for the 10 years of beauty and success on YouTube. Thank you to the thousands upon thousands of the patron army. And as we continue forward in the future. And that's really all I have to say today. And hope you guys had a good time. This was a fun video. A little long, though. I thought it was a little... I probably shouldn't have done it as long. How long was this video? Jesus, 34 minutes.